Then on Sports Central, we go over a March Madness game preview and prediction on the Sweet 16 matchup between the Purdue Boilermakers and the St. Peter's Peacocks. You got Purdue who's the 3 seed in the East region, and the Boilermakers have got some high expectations going into the Sweet 16 as they face off against the Cinderella team of this tournament, the St. Peter's Peacocks, a 15 seed that has knocked off Kentucky and Murray State in the first 2 rounds of action. Definitely quite a story here from St. Peter's, and they're hoping to pull off yet another huge upset in the Sweet 16. We'll be going over a full game preview and prediction on this matchup here today, starting out with your team trends. Purdue, 29-7 overall heading into this matchup, 14-6 in Big Ten play this season. And you got 2 Big Ten teams remaining in this tournament, and we're in the Sweet 16. And 7 Big Ten teams have been eliminated already in the first 2 rounds of action. You got Purdue and Michigan, the only 2 teams from the conference remaining. And Purdue, of course, is being the 3 seed, you'd expect them to be the Big Ten's only shot at a championship now. But Purdue, 14-6 in conference play, 5-3 in games against the top 25. As for St. Peter's, 21-11 overall, 14-6 in conference play this season, and they did not play a ranked team this season. Games will be on Friday, March 25th in Philadelphia. Your tip-off is 7:09 p.m. Eastern. Spread's going Purdue here by 12.5, so the Boilermakers are favored by a significant margin in this game. It's a 3 versus 15 game, so I can see why that is, but St. Peter's, this is a team that's played excellent, to say the least, in the first 2 games. They beat Kentucky, who's a 2 seed. Kentucky, that team was so favored to go a long ways in this tournament, and rightfully so. Kentucky being as experienced as they were, and the Wildcats having as much talent as they did, the depth, everything looked like it was going to shape out perfectly for Kentucky to make a deep run in this tournament. I would argue that the St. Peter's Kentucky upset was the biggest one either since the Virginia UMBC upset a couple years ago, or the Michigan State Middle Tennessee one that we saw a few years back as well. St. Peter's beating Kentucky was much more significant, I'd say, than Oral Roberts over Ohio State even. Just crazy seeing Kentucky go down in the first round. They were a popular pick to go a long ways once again, but good for St. Peter's. And beating Murray State, that was no easy task either. Don't sleep on that win. Murray State is a good basketball team, and St. Peter's dominated for a good chunk of that game. So, don't be sleeping on the Peacocks going into this matchup against Purdue. Purdue's played well so far. They beat Yale in the first round pretty comfortably, then beat Texas by 10 in the second round. And Purdue, of course, in the BPI, if you look at that, 91% towards the Boilermakers. So, they are very much favored in this matchup. But St. Peter's, once again, keep an eye on this team. They played in overtime against Kentucky and beat them in overtime. So you can see St. Peter's, this team is incredibly well coached, and they know how to win games, and they know how to play under pressure, which is obviously huge when you're playing in the NCAA tournament. Here's your stat comparison for this matchup. Purdue, you get 79.8 points a game, 68.8 points allowed, and their BPI rank is 9. Versus St. Peter's, which St. Peter's stats are, it's shocking to say the least. It's understandable why they're a 15 seed, but 66.9 points a game, so they're barely even getting 70 points a game, and their points allowed is 61.8, and their BPI is 112 versus Purdue, who's at 9. So, statistically, Purdue is clearly the better team here, but, it's March Madness. You never know. You can see Kentucky's stats were 10 times better than St. Peter's, and same thing with Murray State. Some notable matchups as well. Purdue beat Villanova by 6 at one point this season. They were 0-2 against Wisconsin. Illinois, Purdue beat them twice. They were 2-1 against Iowa, and they beat Ohio State by 3. So Purdue's got some good wins on the resume. They beat Villanova, lost to Wisconsin twice, but otherwise they were undefeated against Illinois, beat them twice, beat Iowa twice, which is huge as well, and beating Ohio State. So, Purdue's got a significant amount of key wins, that's for sure. And for St. Peter's, they've played one team that's in this tournament over the course of the season, that is Providence. They lost to them by 14. VCU, some other matchups they had, they lost to VCU by 3, lost to St. John's by 12. They were 0-2 against Iona and 0-2 against Siena. So, they don't really have any key wins in St. Peter's, but in this tournament, they've been outstanding to say the least. Some key points: Purdue 29-7 beat Yale and Texas in the first 2 rounds. They've got the top-ranked offense in the country. That's going to be tough. St. Peter's, they played Kentucky and Murray State. Both teams have got some excellent offenses and overall just deep, good teams. But Purdue is the best offense that they have faced up to this point, that's for sure. Purdue's offense is outstanding. But on the flip side, defensively, the Boilermakers aren't quite as good as their offense is. So that's the main concern that I see with Purdue is their defense. How will they hold up? And I mean, that's kind of the thing in March Madness is relying with a outstanding offense is tougher because, I mean, offensively you can be a bit more volatile. And I mean, Purdue, I mean, they're pretty consistently a really good offense, but I mean, when it comes down to the tournament, one bad game and you're in trouble. I mean, offensively especially, I mean, Purdue, they lead on their offense quite a bit, but defensively going up against St. Peter's, I mean, you'd expect Purdue to be just fine, but you never know. The Peacocks, they've beaten Kentucky and Murray State, Cinderella team of the 2022 tournament for sure. I mean, if this team goes to the Elite Eight, we've never seen a 15 seed in the Elite Eight, but I feel like St. Peter's, the way they're playing right now, I mean, they've got a good chance to be the first team in the Elite Eight. That's a 15 seed. And, I mean, the Peacocks, experienced team that is great under pressure. I mean, they've played Kentucky and Murray State once again. Both teams excellent. I mean, the experience and this team being collected under pressure is huge. But that's how let's get to the prediction here for Purdue and St. Peter's coming up here in the Sweet 16. I'm going to go with the Boilermakers to get the win here. 76-68 is my predicted final score. And I mean, as much as I may want St. Peter's to get the win here, I mean, that would be incredible if it happened. And I feel like everyone except for Purdue fans would love to see that happen. But Purdue, just simply the better team here. I mean, you got Purdue, who's got the best offense in the country. I mean, and that's going to be tough for St. Peter's to contain when you're going up against the top offense. And if the Boilermakers get hot in this game, it's going to be tough for St. Peter's to come back. And I feel like that does happen. The Boilermakers, once again, huge credit to them. They're simply the better team in this matchup. And, I mean, I understand Kentucky was better than St. Peter's. Murray State was better than St. Peter's. But this matchup is just tough for St. Peter's. You got the best offense in the country. I feel like this is where St. Peter's run ends. And I could be wrong, and I'll look like a fool if that's true. But in the end, I feel like Purdue gets the win here, 55% chance. So I don't expect it to be a blowout. I don't think. I mean, the spread's 12.5 points towards Purdue, and your BPI is going 91% on Purdue. But, I mean, I feel like it's going to be closer than that. I do expect this game to be close, and in the end, Purdue does get the win here, 76-68. I'm going to take the over, and St. Peter's to cover the spread as of right now. But that said, let me know your thoughts in the comments below on this game, and I appreciate you guys are watching as always. Stay tuned for more from All Sports Central. Catch you on the next one.